This whole time I thought I was recording. Today's video is going to be a project share. It's mostly a layout share. Yes, my friends. So this is a lot for me. I also was working on 2 mini albums at the time. Germany notebook in the storyline chapters. So that's like the actual line, but it's a notebook. And then I was working on that baby album, which I will link the video here about that baby album because I am going to do a flip through, but it'd be so cool for you to see all the supplies that I got from my stash and how I made the album leading up to the whole showing of the album pretty soon. So anyway, while I was working on those things, I also completed these layouts. I haven't even counted them, but most of those layouts are also from the Scrap and Learn virtual retreat. That retreat blew my mind. I mean, I didn't really have much expectations other than to learn new scrapbooking tips and tricks. So let's talk a little bit about the Scrap and Learn retreat. It's hosted by Andrea Lake, Celis Gonzalo, and Gloria Barra. I hope I said all those names right. And so a virtual retreat, you don't actually go to a place. All the stuff is delivered to your door. And then on the day the retreat is, they give you a special link. You plug in online into those live classes. There are a few pre-recorded classes, but it's mostly live. And then there are other people who are attending and you can chat with the teachers or with each other. It's really, really, really fun. I did not get the package ticket, big box, like $300 worth, maybe more, of all the collections they're gonna use. Some tools, some dies were in there. And next time I will buy the box because it was quite challenging to use my stash. I will talk more about that, but I wanted to use my stash, especially Paige Evans, because I have so much of her and it's so, so beautiful. And I was like, this retreat, I'm gonna use that. Anyway, what made it special, so because some people are like, oh, virtual retreat, I want to go in person. I think either or. What will be special about either in person and even virtually is the community, the support and encouragement that the scrapbookers were giving to each other and then to the teachers was just so amazing. And it was throughout the whole event. I have notes here in case you're wondering why I'm looking down. It was jam-packed with projects, more than I thought. This is not a complaint. I don't know how other virtual retreats are or retreats, but if they're packed with projects like that, it is worth it. This one though, the Scrap and Learn, the name is what you're doing. You're scrapping and you're learning the entire time. I did not think that we could create this many projects, but we did. And I was determined to either finish them when the teacher finished the class or like just a few days after. And I did. Yes. I need to do 2 more layouts, put in some pictures to my mini album, which I'll show y'all that, but the mini album is pretty much done. Another thing was the teachers were very energetic in their own way throughout the whole event, which I think is very necessary for a jam-packed event. If you're doing a lot of projects, maybe scrapbookers can get a little tired, but if the teachers start to get a little tired, the scrapbookers, we're going to start to move slow and we're not going to finish these layouts, and then we're going to have a whole bunch of unfinished layouts and projects on our desk and feel overwhelmed. But the teachers, in their own way, were very energetic throughout the entire time that they were filming and throughout all the engagement. The highlights for me was all the different styles. So they had Shamel, they had Andrea Lake, they had Becky Adams, they had Gloria, they had Celeste, and they're all like, they just have a different approach to scrapbooking, which is pretty awesome. So the layouts were different kind of styles. So many layouts created in 2 days. I will never stop talking about how much I created in 2 days. Again, I substituted with my stash. So instead of just like pulling out something that they saved, I had to go find something similar to that. So there was more prep on my part for that. But a mini album was created in one morning. This was Celeste's project. Again, it doesn't look exactly like hers. None of the things that we created the teachers have shown. I asked if it was okay if I showed my projects because they're not exactly the same, and I got the thumbs up. It was okay. Yeah, so this was the first class we started. Was a mini album, and I was nervous, but Celeste was so detailed. She was moving at a good pace, and so it was easy to follow her. I'm not used to making mini albums, so if those who make mini albums, they're like, yeah, it's totally doable. But to me, as a first timer, making this in one morning. So I used Paige Evans and a Hobby Lobby line that had to do with crafting. And again, I haven't put my photos yet, and once I put my photos, I'll probably embellish a little more. Definitely journal also. Look at how cute. Her use of color is beautiful. I really liked that about Celeste in this retreat. So again, I had to go into my stash and substitute. That was a lot of fun. I felt like I was shopping in my stash. And so this whole base, like the spine, and like this is like near perfect. Come on. And I even substituted like everything, and I'll tell you which one was on point and then which one I brought in. What I learned how to make darn near perfect base for a mini album, tips and tricks for 2-page layouts. Even though I do 12 by 12 layouts or traditional scrapbooking layouts, I've never done 2-page layouts ever. And so I learned a lot of tips and tricks to do 2-page layouts, and then I learned that I can and will be and need to use more products on my layouts, especially Gloria's classes. Like how much product she put on a page, I was like, oh yeah, I could definitely use more ephemera, more puffies, more. Use the stuff that you buy. I finished more in 3 days than I had in 3 months, and it was fun. Even doing the projects weeks later, still fun. At the end of all of it, my creative heart was so full. So if you ever get a chance to attend a retreat like this or this retreat, take it. So that is my review for the Scrap and Learn retreat. Let's get to the layout share. Okay, so this is from recent to now June to mid-March. So this is the latest layout I have on my Instagram. This is from the Scrap and Learn retreat. This is a lift from Celeste. There was 2 collections I did not use. One was the Vicky Bouton and one was the Spellbinders. That one came in the box that you get when you buy the full package ticket. So I substituted with, this is from Chamel Project Pad, and this is actually an old crepe paper confetti. Isn't that crazy? I'm gonna put these layouts over here. And so this is from crepe paper, and then I just traced it and made a second one. So the paper that Celeste used already had this printed on, so it was 1 sheet of paper, but I had to put that together. So I ripped some paper here and I got some watercolor and I splattered that around with a dropper actually. And then most of the ephemera is from Paige Evans, multiple collections. And then these little foam dots are from Chamel. This is from All Heart, from crepe paper. This little Chemex with the coffee is from Chamel. All Heart. This is from my stash. This is just some trim that I put on some pop dots. And this is also from the All Heart, and I just love how it all came together. Now this is a double page layout. There are some pictures that are not on these layouts because they have yet to happen. So I turned it into like a school theme type of layout. I'm waiting for some pictures of when school starts. Yes, this is the first layout we started with Andrea's class. She used the Spellbinders collection, I think. I used Chamel's. There was die cutting here, ribbon. I used this pretty pink trim that I've had in my stash. That'll probably have some journaling there. Yeah, so this was a lot of fun. Andrea's style to me is very symmetrical. I try to get the colors to match very, very similar, or the patterns. I try to make the pattern. So maybe she had like a dot and I just got, you know, this one obviously, and then maybe she had like a plaid. I can't remember, but if there was a circle die, try to find something similar to that. You know, if she had a title here, try to find something with a title there. Just try to really match it as best as I can, but of course it's gonna look different because I'm using different products. Okay, this is one of my favorites. This is also by Andrea Lake. I don't remember if she uses a sewing machine, but I decided to hand stitch mine. I like that there's this base that frames the yellow frames this plaid. I like that style that Andrea Lake has. And then I like this grid, and I probably will scrap lift this more often. I decided to add some journaling there, and it kind of went wrong. Like my pen wasn't working, the stamping went wrong, the jelly pen wasn't as dark as I wanted it to be. So a lot of this again is from Paige Evans' Blooming Wild. This is kind of the same as far as like there was a title here, and then she had some sort of circle maybe here, and it stretched out like that. Then she had, did she have a tab down here? I can't remember, but I know she had florals here. I think she had journaling here with some embellishments right here too. So yes, really like this one. Then we have Shamel. This was a make and take. So this wasn't a live, but super easy to follow. Now I did not have the paper ribbon that was in the box. I didn't have it, so I had to substitute it, and I used a pink glittery kind of tulle ribbon that I had in my stash, and that goes really well with the collections I was using, like the Shamel one. I'm not really good at border punches. I just can't get it to line up where you don't see a break in the pattern. I don't know. I maybe I need to take a class on punches because this happens. This, you see that? You see that? Yeah, but the tool kind of like covers it up. She had was it a 4x6? I can't remember, but it was a portrait, a vertical photo, and I had horizontal. And because of that, I thought, well, I'll just follow along doing it like this, and then I'll just flip it to be horizontal. But with that, I didn't keep in mind the pattern. This pattern here. So this is the only mess up that I had, but I think only I can see that, or a scrapbooker can. This is about my daughter's first time at the dentist. So the title, Reasons to Smile, is like just nailed it. It's so funny to me that we're at the dentist, yet I have a bunch of ice creams, because I don't know about y'all, but whenever I was a kid and my mom took me to the dentist, after the dentist, she would take me for a treat, which is kind of funny because it's sugar. But I was at the dentist a lot, and sometimes the waiting was just so long and the appointment was so long. I guess she was just proud of me for being patient. A lot of this is from all kinds of Shamel's collections, except for this wood grain. This wood grain I think is Dear Lizzie. Anyways, this was fun. I liked that. Had fun. This is Becky Adams' class. So it was actually a double page layout. I'm a pocket scrapbooker, so I didn't need another double page layout. And so I just decided to do it single page layout. Yeah, I tried to, again, match things as far as color or pattern. She had a shelf here, and then she had a solid color up here. She did have like a strip like this. I don't know if it was a stars or what, but so I tried to replicate that, and that's from Paige Evans. This is from Whimsical, I think. And then she had a circle here. It kind of looked like a giant color wheel. Yeah, here we go. Kind of like this. This is a pie chart, but hers looked like a color wheel. And I think that's a Vicky Boutin collection, but I didn't have that. So I decided to make a circle with flowers. That's all from a Paige collection. This is from Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby. I just put that on some pop dots. That's like embroidery thread. The whimsical and that Hobby Lobby line goes really well. The photos are about like just getting back into crafting after having a baby. I got back into it, and then Janet asked me to be on their podcast, and so excited to be a part of that. And my sister sent me cookies, and they're absolutely delicious. I got to taste them again at my niece's Sweet 16, and they are amazing. Oh, okay, so now this is Gloria. Okay, so how many layouts is that so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 layouts. This is Gloria's. Yes, we did do this together in her live class. And this is what I mean by I could add more. I could add more paper. Look at all this layering. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 papers, including the background. 6. Okay. She had a basket because there was a die that had a basket, and then I didn't pick up B's charms, and so I kind of made my own with reinforcers and ephemera, and then this came from B's new line, Smile for Miles. But so anyway, her basket had like flowers going out, and so I just kind of, kind of made my own. But this is pretty much the same. So she did use this collection, so this looks very, very similar to hers. I just need to add the photo. There's 2 photos I need to go in here. It's just so pretty. This one's different. I thought I had all the papers from Sketchbook, but I don't. And I figured that out when I made this layout. It was like a lemon paper and a light pink paper. I didn't have it, but I knew I had a lemon paper, and so I went into Maggie Holmes Flourish. Her colors are lighter. These colors are more deeper. The one that Gloria made was way more just lighter overall, the feel of it, and this one's a little bit more heavier, but I still think it came out great. My daughter has a lemon dress, and she needs to wear that dress so I can take pictures of it, because I absolutely love that dress on her. I think this is the same. It's a great day. The lemons is the same. I think all is the same. I think I added this little mason jar here for my stash. I think I did this a little different, maybe. I don't know, but this was a lot of fun. I will probably scrap lift this again. Really liked how that turned out. And then a double page layout during Gloria's class. Like 3 layouts in what, like 2 hours or so? Amazing. And they're packed with product. Look at this one. Look how much is on here. I think the background papers are not the same. I got those from Paige Evans. I didn't have the scallop border punch. She provided a template, and I was able to just trace, and it was really easy to fussy cut actually. I didn't have the thickers from the line Sketchbook, so I used some my stash. This is Heidi Swap. There was a die that she used, like a pegboard die. I didn't have that, so I just used a vellum tag. Like, look at all the ephemera she fit in here. This paper is different. She used a different paper, but again, I didn't have it. I think she got it from the paper pad, and I had the project pad. So obviously the paper had more papers, and so I substituted with a paper close to it. I knew it was floral. It's a very pretty floral paper that I thought was in the paper pad, but it wasn't, so I substituted with this little smaller floral paper. What's next? Chamel's class was just amazing. This was, did we start with a double page? I think so. Look at this, y'all. There's this layout. Chamel, like when I came back to scrapbooking, Chamel. I did not know who she was. I just saw a YouTube video with a girl with a really nice red polish manicure. She explained what she was doing very, very well, that it felt like I was taking a scrapbook 101 class. The more I learned about her, she was a teacher, she does classes. I was like, oh, no wonder. And her energy is just so positive. So with that, Chamel does lots of like patterns. She does a lot of tuckies, which is like layering. She does multiple photos, definitely a spot for journaling. She does little clusters here, repeats of 3s, there's tearing, There's big pieces of paper layering. This layout, I was like, oh, okay, like don't be afraid, because I would have never done this. This pattern here with florals on top of it, and then there's florals here. I wouldn't have done that, but it makes sense as far as design flow. It goes really well with my little girl's birthday photos. Again, I didn't have everything from Reasons to Smile collection. I already had bought some, so I used my stash. So I know I substituted this paper, but I try to match it as best I can. If she used like a floral pattern, try to find a floral pattern. If she used a stripe, try to find a stripe type of thing. I didn't get the thickers. This is from Main Character Energy, and it's not the same gold. This is more of a yellow gold. It's okay. And I didn't get the journal ephemera either. That was sold out. There's a whole row of tuckies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 if you include the florals of just tuckies. So that's like 11 pieces of ephemera or stickers. That's really, really good. And this is just one part of the layout. Really, really good. I just love how much product we were putting on here. This is, Shimel was teaching it. I kind of just scrap lifted because I didn't have the same products, but it's still all Shimel products. And so there was a lot of uses of 3 here. So she talked about pick out one thing you really like and have 3 of those. So I really like coffee. I have a latte in my hand. So she had 3 coffee cups. And then she had cameras. Why am I missing a camera? I'm missing a camera over here. I thought I had a camera here. And then the 3 hearts, and then she had title here. So this is pretty much the same. She also used a stencil. And so I just found a stencil in my stash to use. And then I can't remember what she used. Did she use that white paper ribbon? But I, again, substituted for that tulle pink glitter one. I absolutely love the way this turned out. This is on my Instagram. I need to scrap more photos of me. So then this is Glorious. This is not part of the live, so this was a pre-recorded video. This one was a lot of fun. This was some homework. We took an X-Acto knife to this and cut out those holes in this swirly ribbon. Of course, I didn't have the charms that she like tied to the open spaces here, so I just kind of made my own with some chipboard. I punched it with my crocodile and added some string to tie it there, make my own charms. And then I think she had charms here, but I decided to add these butterflies. I love all the little fruit that they have here. And then again, I don't have that paper of this florals, so I went into my 6x8 and fussy cut the same paper floral, so they are smaller. So to make up for space, I added the doily here. She had a sketchbook title here, but I just got something from my stash. You belong, because he does. He was the runt of a litter, and he was like super malnourished because he wasn't getting food, right? Because all of his siblings would get to it before he did. And so he was he 6 months old or 6 weeks old? Really small. Like they thought he was newborn, and we're like, no, he's this old. And so we knew that he was malnourished, and you should see him now. He's just super healthy now. That is the Scrap and Learn layouts. I have 2 more to finish. I am gonna move on to another project after I finish this one, and this is on Andrea Lake. I'm not gonna use this photo. I don't know what happened to my printer there. I'm gonna have to reprint that, but I'm like, well, I'll use this for now till I get more ink and reprint that photo. But anyways, this is a lot of fun using Paige Evans. Again, it looks different than the one she has because she used a different collection. I'm scrap lifting it, and I'm having a lot of fun doing that using my stash. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 layouts from the Scrap and Learn retreat. Wow. Okay, and then these are the 3 that I did in between. you've seen this on my Instagram. Sorry for the glare, y'all. This is using Pink Fresh Studio. I wanted to do some hand stitching, so I did, and I wanted to bring in some clouds. It was spring, so I think I did this in April. Nice fun spring day. This was in COVID when everything was shut down but the parks, the outdoors. I think I had a little bit of Willow Lane in here. Then a pocket page. This is using Willow Lane. This is also on my Instagram. These are from Hobby Lobby. This little vellum cloud is from Hip Kit Club. So I got to use my stash, did some stamping. I think that was my challenge for this spread, was to do some stamping. I think that's a Maggie Home stamp set. So fun, right? More Willow Lane down here. This was Easter, so I did add in some Easter elements. Some frames here. Used my new alphas that I got from where is that? Is that Pebbles? And then this was like a beach day in the springtime, so the photos aren't very sunny because it's very cloudy. So I had to get stuff from my stash that matched the feel of the photos. This is a different type of layout, so I think this is a 6x12. I added this collage of photos here that we went to the Holiday Sandcastle Village in South Padre Island. But a lot of the stuff from here is from Pebbles. I know this is from Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby had the cutest little ocean mermaid puffies, super cute. And this little embellishment here is actually from the beach in South Padre. I think I finished this one. I added the 6 months in the journaling. Yeah, I really like this one. This is Maggie Holmes. Really, really cute. Anyway, so I'm so happy with all that's been done. If you made it this far, give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below if you attended this scrap and learn retreat. Let me know what you think about all the layouts. Like, which one was your favorite? Which one? Which one? So many, right? Do you remember? Yeah, I'll see y'all in my next video.